Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be reviewing our first semester of college. Okay, hi, hello. My name is Nara. I am a full-time employee and I'm also a full-time student. How do I do this? Why? I'm so glad you asked. First of all, wonderful support system around me. Second of all, I do school completely online through WGU, Western Governors University, based out in Utah. So I'm able to kind of do school really wherever, whenever, during breaks at work or during, my time at home, or really just like whenever I have a free moment, I'm studying, or at least that's what I'm telling people I'm doing. Am I always studying? Debatable. So the way WGU is sort of framed is that every semester is 6 months long. And we don't call them semesters, we call them terms. 6-month term. So during your 6-month term, you have to complete a minimum of 4 classes. But they kind of encourage you to aim for like 1 class a month, which I found to be quite reasonable. And there are some classes you can honestly get done in like a couple of days, depending on like how busy you are or, how prepared you feel for said class. It's just some of them are truly just like filling out a piece of paper and then like that's all you have to do. So as of right now, I have completed 44% of my degree in just the past 6 months. I know that sounds crazy, and you know why? It's because I have an associate's degree under my belt. So I already went into this with all of my gen eds out of the way, and WGU has a pretty flexible transferring of credits program. So pretty much as long as you like have an associate's or like have done all your gen eds, they'll kind of knock out like a third of your degree. When I started, I think I was about like 36% done with my degree, I was somewhere in the 30 percentage, and now I'm at 44. And so now as of a few weeks ago, started my second semester at WGU. And with that, I should be able to get like past the 50% and be over halfway done by the time this term is over. As a bare minimum requirement, I have to complete 4 classes per semester, per 6 months. I was aiming to do 1 class a month, and by my own procrastination and also because I dealt with a loss in my life, I only did the bare minimum, which is like honestly snapped me for even doing the bare minimum because I was kind of a lot happened for me during the first 6 months of school. I moved, I started a new job, I lost a friend, and just like life in general. So I'm honestly shocked I even did it. And I'm very proud of myself for even just like finishing the bare minimum. But because of that, it has sort of like tweaked my degree plan a little bit. Initially, I was slated to graduate in 2027, like early spring 2027. But because of my little hiccup with timeline and not completing as many courses as I would have liked to, I can definitely still achieve my goal, but it's going to be very tight. I'm going to have to take a class every month and like no breaks, which means I'm going to have to sort of push myself to get things done sooner rather than later, because by potentially getting more than 1 class done a month, or at the very least finishing a class like a week or a few days early, it'll give me more time to start a new class, and then potentially by the time the semester's over, I can maybe have like a week vacation between terms, just, to keep my sanity together. You know what I mean? In my current term, I have 22 weeks remaining. I have yet to complete any of the classes for this semester. I literally just started like a few weeks ago. So I'm still on track. I'm still following my like month by month quota as long as I finish this class by the end of this month. So this page you're looking at here is my degree planner. Again, it shows like how many course units, CUs that I have completed, 49. That does include, again, all of the ones I came in with from my associate's degree. And then the current CUs, which is 12, because so at least the way my advisor has it set up is that when I start a semester, she doesn't just like give me 6 classes to do. She gives me the bare minimum. She's like, here's 4. If you complete them and you feel like you can do more, let me know and I'll add them. Because it's better that way. Otherwise it like messes with like the system and like your tracking progress. So that's where I'm at currently. Now this is the list of every completed course I have. And some of these were, again, completed because of my previous degree. So for example, the health, fitness, and wellness class, I never took it because they kind of like lumped it in when I transferred all my credits from Chat State, the community college I went to. They sort of put it towards that, and they were like, oh, you know, if you have all your gen eds, like, we're not going to make you take health, fitness, and wellness. I think in theory, if I like really wanted to, I could request to take it, but I don't plan on it. Because my associate's degree that I got was in film, and I'm a business major. I don't know if I said that. I'm majoring in business management. So honestly, the fact that like 8 classes were taken off of my like list of things to take from a film degree is kind of slay. So I'm not mad about it. I will not complain. And my streak of only ever taking 1 math class since graduating high school has been strong. I literally took 1 math class when I first went to uni, straight out of high school, dropped out, went to community college where I didn't have to take math because I took math at uni and that credit transferred. And then same thing, it transferred from uni to community college to now the university that I'm in currently, which is so great for me. My baby Maple has come here for attention and love and cuddles. So there are 2 types of classes that you can take at WGU. You have any class with the letter O next to it and any class with a P next to it. So O is the objective assessment, which means you have to take a test. P is performance task, which means you have to like do some sort of assignment, some sort of like project, whether it's writing an essay or filling out a worksheet or doing an oral presentation, you know, something along those lines. I will say when I was taking my classes last semester, I felt that I was able to more quickly complete any class that was labeled as objective, which again just means like taking an exam. Because it was like I would just watch lecture videos while I would like drive to and from work, and then I would just like take the test and I would be done in a couple of weeks. Versus like the like project-based classes, I really felt like I was like procrastinating those more and that I felt less inclined to do it because a lot of the project-based classes I took didn't even like really like tell you that you needed to read the textbook. It was very much like just do the assignment and like refer to the text as needed. And so they were like, oh, these classes are so easy. And because like they were posed to me as easy and like in theory, yes, they were that easy, I kind of like kept putting them off in some weird like backwards way, which bit me in the butt because then I like fell behind on my timeline and I was, instead of 6 classes, I was like, oh, with like how slow of the progress I'm making, I can maybe get 5 classes done. But then my friend passed away and then I was like, well, my last month of school is just going to go down the toilet because I am too upset. I am too sad to do anything other than try to take care of myself. So I like came to the executive decision with my advisor that it was best if I just like took a month off from school, which I'm glad I did. And I was able to, again, finish the bare minimum. But, you know, I look at that in hindsight and I'm like, if I had just like procrastinated a lot less and I had just like, instead of looked at school as like oh my God, I have to study, or oh my God, I have to do this paper that I don't want to do. If I had just like done the whole like do it for 5 minutes, you know, every day approach and just did it instead of like complained or like thought and ruminated in my mind about how I hadn't done it yet, I would have been done a lot sooner and I wouldn't have to do as much schoolwork now. Lesson learned the hard way, I suppose. Those are kind of like my biggest takeaways from last semester is that I just like, I was my own worst enemy. Like if I had just sat down and done the work, I would have been fine, and like even though my friend like did pass away, I would have at least still been like slightly ahead. Like honestly, when I talked to my advisor at the beginning of the first semester, she told me that like all the classes I was signed up for could easily be done in like 2 weeks at a time. So she was like, in theory, if you like really pushed yourself, you could get like 12 classes done. And she was like, maybe, and she's like, if not 12, like at least 6 or like 6 to 8. Cause she's like, some of these classes really take you like a day. And she's right, because the one class in particular that I kept putting off, and I'm kind of mad at myself for it. I think it was the business environment applications, one business structures and legal environment. That was like the last class I took. And it was quite literally a 1-page, one-sided Word document where I just had to answer like 4 questions. That was it. Like, it was so simple. And it took me like a month and 2 weeks to finish it because I just like didn't want to do it. Because I would like look at it and I'd be like, that sounds boring. I'm not doing that. Like, girl, it really was that easy. Like, the problem is the phone. Put the phone away. The call's coming from inside the house. Like, it really was that simple. And I was getting in my own way. And that's really frustrating. So no more of that. We're not doing that anymore. Okay? We are going to have some self-respect and get things done in a timely fashion. At least that's the goal, you know? Gotta put the work in. Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm really proud of myself for getting my bachelor's. But I'm also like a little frustrated with myself that I don't have one yet. And I know it's like, oh, you're only 24, like it's not that big of a deal. But, you know, for me, it was like I graduated high school in 2019. And I went to 4-year university, Middle Tennessee State University. Go MTSU, go Raiders. I went there like fresh out of high school, like most people do, from fall 2019 to spring 2020. And we all know what happened in spring 2020. My gallbladder failed and the pandemic happened. So I had a lot of issues that year. So I had to drop out of college. Mostly because my health was like so bad that I was failing. And if I stayed in school, I would have lost like all financial aid. I would have failed all of my classes and it would have been like a huge burden on like me and my family. So like the fiscally responsible thing to do was to drop out. And I don't regret dropping out because I know that's like what I needed. But it is frustrating that it's like, you know, sure, I graduated college before my friends, but you know, that was community college, and then the next year all my friends had like bachelor degrees, and I'm like, I don't have that. It is frustrating for me. It is something that like I get kind of like I wouldn't say I wouldn't like hard on myself about it anymore, but it is something that I'm like, dang, like it'd be a lot easier if I had that already and I wouldn't have to be thinking about this stuff. And instead of like, you know, working all day and then coming home to do school, I could just like, I could just work all day and come home and like live my life and focus on other things. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. Rejection is redirection, as they say. So no regrets, just more like frustration, I think is really the best way to put it. So, you know, for me, this is the third like higher education I'm pursuing. And hopefully this time around, I actually get a bachelor's. Let's go, guys. Let's go. So yeah, that's why I'm like even doing this to begin with, is because I just, you know, I don't have a bachelor's. And at this rate, if all goes according to plan, knock on wood, I should have one by the time I'm 26, which will be like right in time for when the government tells me I can't mooch off of my dad's health insurance anymore. I'm in a really privileged position. Like, I have to admit that. I am extremely privileged where I have a really great job. I have a really great support system around me. Like, my employers know that I'm in school and they're very supportive of that. And they like constantly ask me how it's going. And, you know, like I have my dad, like he like helps me out with like paying for food, and like he helps me pay for school. Though I did get a scholarship for this semester. So actually, I paid for this entire semester with my big brain. So I'm very proud of myself for that one. But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm really lucky. Like my partner is awesome. Like he's always asking me about school and like what I'm learning, which helps me then like study and like, you know, like recall and blah blah blah. And my friends are like really supportive too. It's just like I have a really great community around me. I am in such a privileged position to even be able to like go back to school and like pursue a degree that I didn't even like go for in the first place. Like when I went to college the first time, I was going for a bachelor's in film and TV production. And then community college was the same thing. I got like a mixed digital media degree. And now I'm going in for like business management, which is something I like never thought I would do, but I'm having a really great time with. Like I'm really interested in the stuff I've been reading and like learning about. So I'm really grateful. So no complaints, just self-inflicted frustration. But yeah, that's kind of like where we're at. That's like what the first semester was like. I would say like other than like my own personal like gripes with myself, I'd say like as far as like my courses go, I really like the way this is structured. I like that it's, there's a bare minimum so that, if you're not engaging and you're not doing the bare minimum, then they kind of like reevaluate like, okay, do you need to take a break? Like what's going on? Cause you're paying all this money to be in school. Like you better be doing the work. They're very big on accountability, which I appreciate and desperately need. So that's cool. I feel like I'm learning things, which is always great. I've definitely like had classes in the past where like I'm paying money to be here and it's like, I'm not learning anything. So I am grateful that it's like, I'm actually learning things here, which is awesome. And I know that it'll be good for me in the future. Speaking of future, or I guess present, really, future comparison to like what we're talking about the past. Let's talk about the present. That was a bad transition. So that was last semester, right? So I did 4 courses plus orientation, so technically 5, but 4. And then I had 12 credits transfer from my previous degrees or my previous attempts at higher education. So right now I'm enrolled in Fundamentals for Success in Business, which is what I've currently been working on. Because I don't know if I said this before, but you can only do 1 class at a time. Like I can't study for all 4. Like I can only do the class I'm in, and then once I finish that, then I can start the next class. But I have to do them all within the 6-month period, if that makes sense. So yeah, right now I'm currently taking Fundamentals for Success in Business. This class is all about ethics, morals, values, the differences between leadership and management and how one does not equate to the other. And just because you're good at one does not mean you're a good fit for the other. And emotional intelligence and how it affects the workplace and relationships with coworkers and business dynamics and all that fun stuff. Very much like psychology, philosophy behind business and what it means to be a legal, ethical, illegal, ethical, or illegal, unethical business. I think I said that right. So that's the current class I'm in. The other 3 classes that I have to take by the time this term is over is Business Management Tasks, Functions of Human Resources Management, which I'm very excited to take, and Innovative and Strategic Thinking. Unless my advisor like switches it, I think the potential like next 2 classes I would take would be Introduction to Business Accounting, which is a class about basic accounting skills, which is another thing I'm actually very excited to take. Because fun fact, I interviewed for an accounting firm when I was unemployed because I was like just trying to find a job, and I was like, I'm in business school. Maybe I should become an accountant. I don't think I want to be, but I am intrigued to see exactly like what it means. A friend of mine, Rachel the editor, shout out to her. Follow her on TikTok if you don't. She's one of like the coolest people I know. Very much like a mentor in my life. She was telling me about how she has a friend who is an accountant. And she asked this friend what like made you interested in accounting, because I feel like accounting is like the punching bag of careers where it's like people they think it's boring and they like don't understand like why someone would want to be an accountant. Like I feel like and like the accountant industry is dying. It's like a whole thing. Her friend told her, and then she relayed this to me, that she liked being an accountant because it was like She like sort of like posed it in this way that it's very much like unraveling like an Agatha Christie mystery, but like with people's finances. And I was like, wait, that sounds kind of fun actually. So I am low-key excited to learn about the basics of accounting. I think that would be really cool. And then after that one, the next class down is talent acquisition. But yeah, so as of right now, like if I were to only do 4 classes a semester, I would not be graduating until like the winter of 2028, which is not at all when I want to graduate. It's like a whole year after I want to graduate. So to be on track, I have to do 6 classes a semester. I think there'd have to be like one semester where I do like 7 or 8. So we're really trying to hone in. We're really trying to focus. My advisor was even like, I want you to try to aim to be done by December of 2026. And I'm like, girl, I'm glad that one of us believes in me, because I don't know if I believe I could do that, but Miss Advisor thinks I can, so, and I trust her. If she thinks I can do it, then maybe I should think I can do it. All this to say, that's kind of where I'm at. I really wanted to do these like little sort of like informal check-in videos where I just sit down and I'm honest about like, this is what I've done so far, this is how I felt about it, this is what I wish I'd done differently, and this is what is like up next on the docket. Some reflection and some like, what do I have to look forward to type jargon. I would like to do these every like 6 months at the very least, to kind of like do these like post-mortems on the semester to sort of like review like, okay, like this is what I did this semester. This is what I wish I'd done differently. This is what I'm glad I did the way I did it. And maybe even I'll do like monthly breakdowns on like what I learned in class and how I performed on like my practice assessments and how I performed on the actual like assignment or test that was like the final grade. I don't know, we'll see. It's kind of hard because WGU, like, they're pretty strict about like not showing things like from the school, which I think is fair. Like I would never show like people's personal information. And I for sure would not share like textbook stuff because I feel like that's like a copyright issue. The only thing that like I'm really willing to share is like my degree progress, because I mean, yeah, that's really the only thing I'm down to like post anyways. I can definitely, get these 4 classes done. I feel like I could get the 6 done for sure. I think again, it's just a matter of me like being aware of my time and being like, okay, in theory, I could just lay in bed and play Pokemon Trading Card Pocket, or I could walk over to my kitchen and read for 30 minutes. Because, surprise, surprise, the reading, like, each chapter I can only get through in, like, 30 to 40 minutes. So it's, like, and there's, like, 5 chapters. So it's not that difficult so far. There's probably, I'm sure the last few classes I take will be challenging. I know there's a capstone I have to take at the end, which I'm a little nervous about. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Thank you so much for watching this video and hearing me rant about my coursework and where I'm at. This is really just like for me to hold myself accountable, so that way like the day that I finally graduate, I can watch all these videos back and be like, wow, look at how far I came. Look at how much I did in such a short period amount of time, because I want to graduate in 2 years. I don't want to do this anymore. And by watching this, you help hold me accountable to the goals I set for myself. So thank you very much. If you are also a baddie who is working full time and trying to go back to school, whether to get like your first degree or a new degree, if you have kids, if you have like other dependents in your life that rely on you, kudos to you. I have a dog and that is more than I can handle. Like, mad respect to anyone out there who is going back to school for any reason. I'm proud of you, and you can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. Because Lord knows, sometimes I feel like I can't, but you know what? We can. We can do it. We can do this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Go do your homework. Okay, love you the most. Bye.